And we have a caller. Let's see, how do we get the caller? John Marshall, I believe. Is this John?
This is John. How are you doing today?
Okay.
Hi, John. Welcome to Real Estate on Sunday.
We're the Real Estate Ninjas. We
keep that in there.
What's that?
You like to keep that in there.
I think we like to be ninjas. I don't know. I still fall back on that. So it's Diana and Jim. John, we appreciate you calling in today. Now, you are a real estate professional in Colorado, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And your expertise is golf course homes?
It is, yes it is.
How did you fall into that niche?
Well, several years ago I realized that the top agents all had some kind of a specialty. And I wasn't quite the luxury agent. I didn't want to work with first-time home buyers. Not that I don't want to work with them, but that wasn't what I wanted to focus on. I had a passion for golf for 35, 40 years. Owned a couple of businesses. I was a golf sales rep and also a custom club fitter. So golf was just kind of a natural fit. And then when I saw the correlation between golf and real estate, I thought, why not? I called one of the high-end luxury magazines here in Colorado that specializes in golf course properties, called Colorado Golf Magazine. Asked them if they wanted somebody to write articles about them. So I just kind of dove in, started writing about Colorado golf courses around the state and real estate that surrounds them, and it just got me real pumped up about real estate again. I was actually in my 7th or 8th year, and I think a lot of agents kind of hit that burnout point at that point. That's where I was.
Are there enough golf course communities in Colorado to keep you busy?
Boy, there's more than enough. There's actually, I think, 217 courses in Colorado. Not that I'm going to handle all of them, but within Denver itself, all you really need is 5 good courses. There's probably 200 to 300 homes lining every golf course. If you want to expand it to homes that are not necessarily on the golf course within the community, you're going to triple or quadruple that number. So you could literally focus on one golf course and kind of be the dominant agent there. I prefer to do homes that exclusively back to golf courses and spread it out over several courses in the metro area. It's a lot easier to target my marketing that way.
Diana, you have a listing
I do
on
have a
golf
listing
course.
on a golf course in Lakeville, Massachusetts.
Very nice.
And my father actually owned the golf course. He sold it at this point.
Together.
Yeah. So.
Give her some tips on how to market it,
Yeah.
because she's had to lower the price once or twice, and still unsold.
I've had people actually not like it because it's on the golf course, and it's a public golf course, so there's no, I can't offer memberships or anything like that. What do you think?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, the public courses are definitely a different animal than the private, and most of the courses I deal with are kind of the upper public and the lower private, if you will. The price range is a $500,000 to 1.5 that I kind of target. And ironically, 40% of the buyers of golf course homes don't play golf, so they're looking for a home with a view more than anything. They want something that has privacy in the backyard and opens to a really nice space that's typically manicured by somebody else. I mean, there's back into, you're a manicured land, which is not a golf course property.
John, you're on a very crackly line. Is that cell or landline?
It's a cell phone. I apologize. I was on my way to an appointment.
Oh. We know you're busy. We appreciate you coming on today. I noticed that you blogged recently about how to run your professional life and your real estate career. I found it sort of refreshing to hear you talk about that. Do you see a lot of people in the industry just sort of work themselves to death?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think a lot of people get into it. They realize there's some really good money to be made, but they don't run it like a business. I mean, I think most people hear the gurus and the experts say, a doctor wouldn't answer the call at 9 o'clock on Saturday night, treat your business like a doctor. Well, they might think that, but they don't treat it like a doctor really treats his practice. They're a specialist in what they do. They refer all the rest of the business. They have their hours and they explain the hours and what they do to their clients, just like realtors should do, but most of them don't do that. And I think that's one of the beauties of being a specialist is I can take on exclusively golf course properties and refer the rest to other experts I know, whether whether they work with pilots or whether they work with condos downtown or farms or horse properties or whatever. And when you become the specialist, you're not always trying to find the next client because they seek you out and you get referrals. I mean, I would say half of my income comes from referring business outside of the state of Colorado to others. So it gives you a nice life-work balance. I mean, the yield per hour on referrals is much greater than actually transacting it myself, so I'd much rather just do that all day long.
So do you refer a lot of buyers and sellers to other brokers in perhaps other states even for golf course properties?
Yeah, there's a fair amount of that, but more so I get other agents around the country that just say, hey, I'm struggling selling this golf course property. Can you help me with this? Or, I just got a referral in Northern Illinois from a local agent here that said, my mom and dad have a $1 million home on a golf course in Northern Illinois, and the agent hasn't sold yet. Can you help them? You can have the referral fee. Well, I had a conversation with a couple agents out there that I knew through my network of golf agents, and this is something, Diana, I think that might help you is with golf course properties. I like to promote them to golf channels. I mean, I have a LinkedIn group that's for golf course properties. I have the Active Rain blog that talks about golf courses, but also I have a group on there that's exclusive to golf course properties. And the referrals and the network that you build through that, they just refer your business or they seek you out as a specialist saying, help me with this one, or, you're the guy to go to. I get calls here locally by some of the top agents. I mean, these guys are doing 50, 60 million a year, and they call me up and say, hey, John, I got a golf course listing. I want you to come by and check it out, see if you have any buyers for it. And there are opportunities I never would have had if I was just, one of a million agents trying to list and sell anything I could get my hands on. So it's opened up a whole lot of doors for me.
Very interesting.
So Diana's problem, at least one of them, is some people think that there's a lot of chemicals sprayed on the course.
The mosquito spraying, I've gotten some questions about that. We also failed Title V, and the seller wants the buyer to pay for it, but that I might be able to negotiate.
And John probably doesn't know what Title V is, but that's
Septic
But
codes.
What do you say to people that have voiced an objection about pesticides?
And it's well water as well.
Well, that's a good one. I haven't come across that one yet. I mean, I definitely deal with golf course properties out here, but it hasn't been an issue. People aren't, I guess, maybe that concerned here in Colorado. Mostly because we just have such a low humidity out here. We don't have a whole lot of need for spraying. I think this is the first year in several years they've actually sprayed for mosquitoes in Colorado, and that was just kind of a citywide thing in certain areas. So I guess my thought is they're still going to have, it's going to have to be a sales job to let these people know that that's going to happen. There's going to be stuff there, but you're going to water the lawn. It's going to run off back to the golf course because very few golf courses are set above the properties that surround them. Usually the properties kind of surround the golf course and sit up higher, so your water's going to run off into their property instead of vice versa.
Is that true?
It is true.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good way to handle that objection.